My name is Andrew Shannon. I am a rising senior at UC Berkeley, and I'm double majoring in ecosystem management and forestry, as well as computer science.
Hi, I'm Neda Hindi, and I recently graduated from the National School of Applied Sciences in Tetuan.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I studied computer systems engineering and now I'm working on my master's in artificial intelligence.
Hi, my name is Harini, and I go to Georgia Tech in Atlanta, Georgia.
My name is Bashir Ajman. I'm from Morocco and I recently graduated as a software engineer.
Hi everyone, I'm Piper. I go to Stanford and I'm a rising senior studying CS.
Or my youngest sister has type 1 diabetes, and when she was getting on a new insulin delivering device called the Omnipod, you have to connect it with this really cool app called Loop. And my parents needed help building this on the computer and getting it set up with the Omnipod. I just became like really, really excited with the puzzle of it and how like learning some of these like CS skills lets you do something so tangible and so quickly, just something that's so cool and quite innovative.
I only ended up choosing CS about 1.5 years ago. Basically, at Stanford, the very last time that you can choose your major is the fall of your junior year. And I spent my freshman and sophomore years thinking I would never become a CS major. I just kept taking CS classes and started learning a bit more about the discipline and what I could do with it. The fall of my junior year, that I was like, actually, I really enjoy doing this.
I always was fascinated by the idea of being able to build anything that came to my mind. I first wanted to study mechatronics because I thought that would give me the freedom to turn any idea into reality. But then I worked on a project where I had to build an app. That experience made me realize that software actually gives you even more freedom to create and bring your ideas across any industry.
An early program that I worked on in computer science was a simple sorting algorithm. I remember working on that with friends. We were all trying to get it right, but we were getting random problems, and then I was the one who got it correct.
My first experience with computer science was me trying to learn how to build a website from scratch with help from my dad. And I remember going on W3 schools, experimenting with HTML and CSS, and trying to understand each part of the process as I went along.
I was all the time using my phone, and it was kind of just exploring the applications like WhatsApp, Facebook, and things like that. And I was all the time wondering and asking myself some questions, how all these things could work together. I discovered that all these things is writing with something named programming languages. There is a programming language named Java, which you could use it to develop like Android applications, like WhatsApp. And I started building something which is really basic, just some basic mobile applications.
I worked on a project for testing Java websites with the Playwright and Java. It's a web testing harness.
At Oracle, I work as a PM intern, and that stands for product management. So, product management is basically a blend between technical and communication skills. It involves some coding, it involves some communicating. These could be technical or coding things as simple as, this summer I learned how to use the Java internal development environment. There's also a lot of communication involved in terms of like, how do you program with someone else? How do you interact with someone who doesn't know what they want, but you have an idea of what specific attribute in a product could really be helpful.
I've been a PM intern on the JPG this summer, so I've just kind of been making tools to support some of the internal processes of the JPG. My scope changed partially through the summer to then analyze if AI is at a state where it can be ready to like replace some of the verbose methods that we're writing when we're creating these tools.
Actually, during this internship, I had the opportunity to work with various technologies. I was working on a really interesting project. A really custom search engine is like the same idea of having a kind of Google, but a custom Google for some like really custom for our own data.
I'm currently working on an AI related project that involves working with people from different areas. It genuinely feels like I'm part of a team where people really care about each other's success. My typical day is a mix of research and reading new material, asking a lot of questions, coming up with proposals. And well, there is a lot of change and adaptation involved, which makes the work both challenging and definitely interesting.
I don't think there's this thing that you have to be like, 100% excited about. Like, the technicalities and like deep CS stuff, like, compilers and memory and all that. For me, it was kind of the other way around. I had this love for forestry. I just like want to learn how to make tools to like do more cool stuff for this. The amount of data that, I could collect because now we can use like LiDAR instead of essentially counting sticks. Like it's really incredible how CS just like allows you to add, creativity and power to like other passions within where you're at. I feel like sometimes folks have like erred on the side of caution. You have to love CS and coding, but I actually would disagree. And like I do enjoy coding. I think really what you have to want is, a love of solving problems and taking like all these complex observations in the world and like having a desire to synthesize them.
I actually came into Georgia Tech as a biomedical engineering student, and I was hoping to minor in computer science. However, I quickly realized that my passion was for the computing aspect of biomedical devices and technologies, particularly with algorithms and problem solving rather than the hardware side, which led me to switch my major to computer science and then gain the biomedical domain knowledge through research and then, of course, student organizations.
I plan to keep learning and moving forward with these rapid changes. No one knows exactly what things will look like in 10 years, but I'm certain that AI is only as effective as its user. So if someone doesn't understand the problems they are addressing, AI will just give you like a black box solution. When your base knowledge is higher, you'll know how to ask better questions and use the right prompts, and then you can fully unlock AI potential. So I think I'm planning to keep learning to ride this AI wave.
The main future plan for me is to use all the stuff that I have learned in order to work on real world challenges, to solve real world problems. I just try to see what people are suffering from, what are the problems of people there, and I try to see if I can use the tools and the knowledge that I have to solve this problem and just a kind of adding a value to world and the society I'm living in.
I'm gonna start with another team here in Oracle as a Java engineer. I'm so happy that this internship gave me this opportunity to start my career here in Oracle.